Hey guys, Coop here from my gym Catalyst, and we've been around since 2005. When I opened up, I was a personal trainer and I was about to hire other personal trainers, and I was debating how to do it. This is still a very common question. And so today I'm going to talk to you about why you should hire personal trainers to work for your gym instead of subleasing the space to them or just giving them a place to rent. This is a very common question in Two Brain Business, and I hope this helps you. If it does, hit subscribe, please, or leave a comment below. So, when I opened up in 2005, I was coming from a personal training studio, and within 2 weeks, I was so busy that I needed help. And a friend of mine named Mike was with me at the previous personal training studio, and he came for breakfast, and we said, how do we work together? And I had a couple of options in mind. One was just he would pay me a flat rate every month to use my space. Another option was he would be an employee or a subcontractor. I'm going to use the term employee broadly here, but depending where you live, subcontractor might be more appropriate. Okay. So in the end, I chose to go with employing Mike under the Catalyst brand for a few reasons. Number one, I knew that my job would be to create a safe, clean space for him to work from, that he would need a lot of my systems like the cleaner. He would need access to my equipment. He would need access to my insurance because he wasn't going to carry his own. He needed access to my payment processing. He would also need access to things like my retail. These are things that he would have to build on his own if not for me. And the sum total of these things would allow him to scale as a coach. He wouldn't have to open a business. He could be an entrepreneur working on my platform. But the value that I brought to Mike was far greater than just access to equipment when I wasn't using it, right? And one of those big things, those undefinable things, was my brand. I knew that any client coming into my gym would associate Mike with Catalyst, even if he was running his own company. And it's the same today. If somebody comes into your gym and they do one-on-one training, or they do boot camp, or they do yoga, or they do CrossFit, they're going to associate that with your brand, and they're going to expect the level of excellence that you deliver from anybody in your space that's delivering that same service. That means they're going to expect the same pricing. They're going to expect the same level of quality in delivery. They're going to expect the same excellence in knowledge, expect the same care and quality of care. If you rent your space to a trainer, even if they're running their own brand, wearing their own t-shirt, but they show up late, that mistake will be associated with your gym and your brand. So reason number one why you don't just rent out your space to other trainers is because they will not conform or operate at the same level of excellence that you will. The second reason is you want to be able to refer your clients to them. You're going to have clients coming in who will do better one-on-one than in a small group. Or maybe you just want to on-ramp them. To do that, you have to have control over what's delivered and to what level again. So that means you want to employ the trainers, and that means you can refer to them and you have an incentive for doing so. The third reason is revenue. I get that you can make a little bit of money, $300 or $400 a month renting your space to other trainers, and you're not going to feel any pressure to get them clients or anything like that. But let's face it here, you can make multiples of that, 10 times more, 100 times more maybe per month if you offer this service yourself and you can follow the prescriptive model. Imagine a client comes in and says, I need to lose 10 pounds. And you say, okay, the best way for you to lose 10 pounds is a combination of nutrition and exercise coaching. And they say, okay, well, I'd love to sign up, but I don't want to exercise in a group the first time. And this is like the biggest barrier to a micro gym is exercising in front of strangers. It's not price. So you say, well, you'll love the group once we get you in there. And they'll say, no, I think I'm going to go somewhere else and get a personal trainer. Are you then going to say, we have personal trainers who rent space, I recommend one of them? Or are you going to try and talk them into what you're selling, which is the group? Because remember, you did all of the marketing and all of the lead nurture and all of the trust building and authority building and media production to get that client in your door. Sending them to somebody who's renting space from you is almost like sending them to a different gym down the street. You're better to encapsulate one-on-one training as part of your brand, knowing that a lot of clients could use your coaching, but they won't want to do it in a group. So in many cases, you're giving up thousands for the sake of making hundreds when you just rent out. The last reason is really liability. And I talked about the impact on your brand earlier when you rent to somebody who doesn't live up to your standards. But the reality is that if there's somebody training in your space, and even if they're carrying their own insurance, if something happens to a client while under their care, you are probably liable anyway. And so this amount that they're paying you each month, I mean, you got to make sure that you're covered, right? That might not even cover your additional premium for having them in there. In short, the reason that you don't want to just rent to trainers to use your box and build on your platform and make good use of your brand is it's like allowing a hot dog vendor to push their cart through your restaurant. They cannot deliver at the same level that you do. While you might be making a tiny bit of money, you're actually turning aside the bigger opportunity by having your own personal training service. Most importantly of all, we run a client-centric business. And if you don't offer a one-on-one coaching service, then you are doing a disservice to clients who really need that one-on-one attention. I hope this helps, and build a bigger brand, build a bigger platform, offer clients what they actually need instead of letting other people do that for you on the platform that you built.